Why does that not want to work? Whatever. Well, hello, my fellow campers. It's your host, GamingCamperDad, and I'm back with another live stream for the drive home from work. Here we are on this long, lonely road, making our way back home. Now, here I am to chit chat with you all. Hopefully, have a good time in the chit chat. And we're back. Oh, I just want to be your friend. Oh, Lord of mercy, I'm tired. What a fucking day. Oh, what's up, guys? How you all doing? Tell me how you're doing today. Come chat with me and keep me awake. I've got 2.5 hours to kill. What's up, temp user? How you doing? How's your night show? What do you want to chat about? What do you want to talk about? Help me stay awake for my 2.5 hour drive home. Hey, man, I got 11 people in here. What's up, guys? Yes, I am in a car. I'm driving home. I've got a 2.5 hour drive home, and the best way to keep myself awake is to chat and live stream to people as I drive. So I'm gonna drive all the way back. Well, hello, Selena. How are you? Yep, that's my job, man. I drive 2.5 hours to work, and then I drive 2.5 hours back. That's the plan. I'm gonna try to drive safely as possible, but I need you guys to chit chat with me and keep me awake so I can be attentive. Because my problem is when I'm driving, sometimes I don't want to say doze off, but kind of like drift off into like a robot mode, and I just don't. Like sometimes I'll like get done my drive and I have no fucking idea how I got back. What state? Oh, we'll just say I'm on an interstate highway. At this time of night, there's maybe like 3 cars on the road at most. I'm focused on the road. It'd be the same if I was using my GPS and looking at my phone. The ability is to be able to multitask as you're looking. Your rear view mirrors, the side view mirrors, check forward, backwards, to your left, to your right. Hell no, I wouldn't want to be in California. Fuck that. And I'm wearing a vest. It's too cold. It's too warm in California for that. No. I need my water. Well, hello. How are you, OCU fighter? How you doing? Well, that's good to hear, man. It's very good to hear. I am doing all right. Just driving home, focused on trying to make it back home safely. Figured I'd try to chat people up so I can keep my ass awake. That's my biggest problem. So I'm very tired. Working the off shifts really beats the shit out of me. It's sparkling water. It's called Liquid Death. That's the plan, to drive safe all the time. I drive so much. To give you an idea how much mileage I put on my truck for work and for business, I have put in 1 year about 100,000 miles on my truck. So that should probably give you an idea how much I drive. Driving home. Driving home from work. It's a 2.5 hour drive home. You got to do what you got to do to provide for your family. Big thing is that me doing this, I miss out on a lot. So like, I spend 5 days a week doing this hard ass drive during the winter. During the summer, I spend 5 days a week at a camper, and then I go home on the weekends, and I get to see my son and my wife for the weekend. That's if I don't get dragged into fucking work to fix things. So, thus is my life. No, this is actually the first Thanksgiving I'm not working in the past 4 years. I think, yeah, 4 years. I haven't been home for Thanksgiving in 4 years. This is gonna be my first Thanksgiving home. So it'd be the first time I get to spend time with my family and my wife and son and my in-laws for Thanksgiving. So it'll be a good time. I know, right? It's finally nice to be able to be home and rest. So I'll be off 5 days. So I'll be off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So nice little 5 days away from the job, be at home, relax, drink some beer, get in the awkward conversations with family members. The good stuff during Thanksgiving, the best stuff. Lisa America, 827. It's a great name. Gizmo, awesome. This is my drive every day. But how is everybody else doing? Are you guys ready for Thanksgiving? What are you going to be doing for the holidays? Are you traveling? Are you staying home? What are you guys doing? That's actually nice that Walmart actually closes on Thanksgiving, because I remember before COVID, it was open, um, and I had friends of mine that, I had a friend of mine that worked for Walmart for like a decade, and every Thanksgiving he could not make it because they were open, and they had to be open for Thanksgiving Day and for Black Friday, and it was always rough on him. So that's a tough job. You know, I know I've done a lot of work in my life. I've done a lot of different work. I've worked no collared all the way up to white collar. In all honesty, when I worked for Walmart when I was a teenager, honest to God, it's probably one of the most frustrating jobs to work at because I find that most of the management, at least that when I worked there, didn't give a flying rat's ass about the people that worked for them, and it drove me fucking nuts. I remember I used to push carts. This is before they had those automatic cart pushers they have now, and it was, I want to say it was like 17, and I was working there, during the weekends and shit when I was in my senior year in high school, and I was standing inside because we had this massive rainstorm that came in from a hurricane, and the assistant store manager came up to me and was like, "What are you doing inside? You should be getting carts." And mind you, it was downpour rain, and it was like thundering and lightning. And she looked at me and said, "You should be out there getting these carts and putting them in." And I looked at her and I was like, "I'll tell you what, I'll follow you out there, and we'll go get them together." The face she had when she looked at me when I said it was fucking priceless. Because my mind was like, "Bitch, I'm not going out there to get fucking electrocuted for some fucking carts. Nobody's here to go shopping. Kiss my ass and get the fuck out." I mean, that's an awesome commute. 2 blocks from your house is definitely a hell of a commute. It's better than mine. You get up, you're like, "I want to think I'll walk the 2 blocks." I get up and I'll be like, "I think I'll drive the Chevy that gets 40 miles to the gallon to work today rather than my pickup truck." Well, I hope, you got, you work, you get your full 20, 25 years, you retire, you're able to relax a little bit. I'll retire when I'm like 97 years old. I would I would punch my brother in the nose for a commute like that. You're gonna be 63 tomorrow? Well, happy birthday. I hope you have a wonderful birthday. I hope you are able to eat plenty of sweets, and I hope you're able to spend it with family and friends. And I hope it's a wonderful birthday. 63 years. That is amazing. I hope they've been 63 wonderful years. Well, I hope it is a wonderful day. Are you going to be celebrating with your family and friends? 88 years. Solid. Solid time. My went to visit my grandparents up in Jersey. It was their. We went up there to Thanksgiving, or at least have a Thanksgiving dinner a little early. They're in. I think they're 89 and 87. They're fortunately to that point in life that they're getting there. So, but I tell you what, doing something like that, I got able to spend time with my uncles, my cousins, my brother, all our kids, and to look at my grandparents, these two people that have been together for 45 years, and for them to look out and see the number of people that they have helped bring into this world and have seen their families grow is incredible. What's my favorite color? Blue. I know it's lame, but it's blue. My favorite color is blue. Hello, Astro. How are you doing today? Hey, wish Lisa a happy birthday. She'll be 63. I want happy birthdays in the chat for Lisa. First night, so we celebrate before he leaves, and I'm blessed to have my 83 mom and stepfather still thinking. That's wonderful to hear. That is wonderful to hear. Oh, it is. I am paying attention to the road. I have no concerns. I'm on a wide stretch of highway right now, so. Remember, I said say happy birthday to Lisa. Let's see that in the chat, please. And thank you. Well, I hope you and your husband have a wonderful day celebrating your birthday. I hope he makes you a big birthday cake, or at least a cupcake that's very, very special. And I hope you be able to spend the day relaxing and enjoying it. You know, I people always kind of talk to me about why I do this, why I drive home. But to be honest with you, it's kind of like my therapy to be able to sit here and chat with people that I don't even know, just to have nice, open conversations about whatever they feel like having. And it's really enjoyable for me to able to talk to people. Call me crazy if you want, but this is actually nice to do and just chat with people. Well, I hope he buys you a very nice store bought cake then. Well, I'm happy to hear that. How long have you been married? I've been married for 12 years. Yeah, I've been married for 12 years. It'll be 23 years. Well, congratulations. Not too many people can say they've been married that long, which is unfortunate. I'm blessed to have a very good wife and a beautiful son. And as much as I shellac the drive that I have to do, I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. Oh, absolutely. That's one thing I tell a lot of people, especially young people, that marriage is not easy. It's not a joke. It's something you have to go in and work at with your partner. You're going to have your ups, you're going to have your downs, but the goal is to always work those things out and keep climbing them. Kind of like, I guess the best way I can tell people, it's kind of like a stock market, like it's going up, and you're going to have those ups and those downs, those ups and those downs. But if you're always pushing up, eventually you'll get to a point where you'll never really remember where you were at the lowest, and you'll just remember your high points. I've been blessed. I will say that much. I have been very blessed with the life I have. It's not perfect, right? But I've been very blessed. That's good. I don't try to tell people when they should or should get married or how long you should be dating. I get a lot of that. Like I've had buddies of mine like, well, how long do you think you should date before you're married? And it really depends, right? Because it's different for different people. For me and my wife, we dated for about a year and we were married. We were dating and then we were engaged and we were married, right? But I have buddies of mine who dated the same girl for like 8 years and then got married. And then my oldest brother got married after 6 months. So it really depends. And my oldest brother's still married to his wife. It's been, I want to say like 20 years now. Gee, but that's not bad. 2 years is good time, right? But it depends on who you are, right? You'll know when you know. And for you, you knew when that 2 years was over. That was the man you wanted to be with. And look at you, 23 years later, can't beat it. 23 years of building something together. My friend, why are you slamming your brakes? There's not a soul in front of you right now. You just got to make it work. I know, like when me and my wife first got married, my wife is from another country, so we had to go through the whole immigration process. We got married in the States, and then she went back home, and then we went through the immigration process, which was a giant fucking pain in the ass. Exit? Wait, I don't get it. Maybe I'm on the right path? I don't know. I swear to God, when they do road construction, the signs make no fucking sense. All by myself. Hey, Barry, what's up? Let me get through this road construction, and we're through. Man or boyfriend I ever had with. It's the same with my wife. I had I had a fair amount of relationships. I never really connected like I did with my wife. I'll put it this way: when I met my wife, um, I met her when I was 24, and I worked as a jet ski guide, and I was a manager of a boat rental, jet ski rental. She worked at the beach shop in front of me, um, and that summer I wasn't really looking for a relationship because I had just gotten out of one that had lasted a while, and I was like, I'm done. I just want to finish up the summer, and then I was going to move out west. And the guy who owned the beach shop was a buddy of mine, and I used to go up and chill with him, smoke cigarettes and chit chat. But years ago when I used to smoke a lot of cigarettes, I don't smoke anymore. But my wife at the time worked at the beach shop, and I would go in there and chit chat with her and ask where my friend was, and he would come out and we would talk. And then my wife, uh, it was near the end of the summer. I had walked in. She had found me like a surf shirt to put on because I was taking jet skis out in the ocean that day. And as I was buying the shirt, she looks at me and goes, "So when are you going to marry me?" Like out of the blue. Not, mind you, I've had conversations with her before. It's very sweet. It's very nice. But she she just outright said, "When are you going to marry me?" And I looked at her and I said, I don't know you, so I can't really marry you if I don't know you." And then I just walked out because I was an idiot. Um, so that was the point I realized my wife liked me. Uh, so the next day I had a few beers and I decided, all right, I got the courage. Let me get the beers in me and let me go ask her out. So I went in and asked her out the next day, and she told me no. And she was like, because I had said, hey, I'd like to get to know you and take you out to dinner. And she said, no, I have to move out of my apartment. So I was like, okay, well, I tell you what, how about I come over and cook you dinner while you clean your apartment and get it ready to be moved out? So she goes, okay. So that night I came over and I cooked what was it I cooked? I cooked pork steaks with mashed potatoes and asparagus, right? Garlic, garlic buttered asparagus, right? And while she cleaned, I cooked. We sat down, we had dinner, it was very nice. And that was it, right? And we just basically started going like, start dating. She went back home that summer, and I flew out all the way to Bulgaria. And if you don't know where Bulgaria is, it shares a border with Greece and Turkey. Okay, so it is a how long was my first flight? It was 14 hours, or no, 13 hours to fly from um, Washington D.C. to uh, Istanbul, and then 2 hours to fly to Bulgaria. Now, mind you, in the past, I didn't even want to drive an hour to go see any of my ex-girlfriends. Yeah, I will never tell anybody to smoke cigarettes, ever. I was so bad with smoking. The worst I was like 3 packs a day. And those 3 packs a day, I ended up quitting cold turkey. I haven't had a cigarette in, it'll be 6 years in January. Are you seeing my message? Hey, bro. Sorry. Yeah, I see your messages. I saw your one on Discord. I got to think about that, what you sent me. So let me think on that. I need at least a couple days to think on that, all right? No, I'm not in Virginia. Not far from Virginia, but I'm not in Virginia. So I flew out there. I spent like 2.5. And I remember when I told my mom, God rest her soul, love you, mom. I remember when I told my mom that I was going overseas to go see my girlfriend. My mother almost had a panic attack, right? She's like, "What do you mean? What do you mean you're going over to Bulgaria? Bulgaria, mom. It's Bulgaria. Well, what's going? Is that country safe? Is it all right?" Or, I'm like, "Mom, I'll be okay." I swear to God, my mother thought I was gonna be like, it was gonna be the scenario of Taken, right, with Liam Neeson, and she was gonna have to go over there and beat the shit out of like some fucking sex smugglers. God, I love my mom. But yeah, I remember going over there. I spent 3 weeks there. I think 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And it was funny because when I met my father-in-law for the first time, my wife had been telling her parents, I have a boyfriend in America and he's going to come visit me. And they're like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever, he's not coming. And then my wife told my father-in-law, oh, my boyfriend's coming. And he's like, what? Yeah, he's coming. He's going to be here in like a couple weeks. What do you mean he's going to be here in a couple weeks? He's going to be here. He's going to be in the house. It's like, really? So, and then he was like, where is he staying? And she's like, he's gonna sleep in my room. I want to be honest, it was a pretty awkward couple nights when I first got there. So it was it was entertaining to say the least. Because, mind you, coming into this country, my father-in-law didn't really speak English. He spoke some, but not much. My mother-in-law didn't speak any English at all. So they they just kind of like would ask her, and then I'd have to speak to her, and she would translate. And the thing is like, if you know anybody who speaks a foreign language, it's never a one-for-one translation. So there's always kind of like a lapse in like the translation between English and another language. And I'm gonna be honest, it took a little bit, but at the end of that trip, my father-in-law gave me a big hug, and he was like, you're a good boy." The Slavic people. So, but yeah, now my in-laws live with me. If you can tell how much they love me, yes, they love me because they actually live in my house. I take care of them. But 13 years, married for 12, and it was that moment I realized that my wife was the woman I wanted forever. The fact that I was willing to fly an entire country, an entire continent, to another continent to be with her sealed the deal. Because I would have never done that with any of my other exes ever in my life. Now I have to do this. It's funny because me and my wife joke we spent more time apart than we had together, but we still have probably the strongest marriage than a lot of our friends do, just because the fact that if we were able to get through the first 3 years of our marriage, and when we were married, the first 3 years, I was flying back and forth to Bulgaria every 6 months to spend time with her while we went through the immigration process. And we can survive anything. It's basically been our mindset since. So, well, thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that. I'm hoping and praying that in the next, I don't know, few months, I don't have to keep doing this late night drive home stuff, and I can be on a more day regular shift. No, I'm not a citizen of her country. It takes a lot, I think, for me to be a citizen of her country. However, our son is a dual citizen. So in Bulgaria, the way it works with citizenship there, only one of your parents has to be a Bulgarian, right? Bulgarian. So when our son was born, within like the first year, we flew over with him, and we got him his citizenship for Bulgaria. So now he has two passports. He has a Bulgarian passport and he has an American passport. So he has the ability to, Jesus, what the fuck is that? Oh, it's the train. Um, so he has the ability to fly and then travel freely throughout Europe with no issues because Bulgaria is a part of the European Union. So he can travel and visit and do all kinds of stuff. In fact, every summer he goes over to Bulgaria with his grandparents now, because in all honesty, it's cheaper for me to buy plane tickets for all three of them to travel back for 3 months to Bulgaria and then go to like Greece and Turkey, Romania, Albania. Last year he spent a day in Qatar. So he gets it's so much better and so much cheaper to send him overseas with his grandparents, and he gets the opportunity to actually learn about his other side of his, his mother's culture. Learns the language, learns different about different people and everything. It's great. I love it. So, but for me, I have to go through a lot of hoops to be a citizen for Bulgaria. Maybe one day I like it, but we'll see. If I can recommend anything for anybody, is to go out and travel and see the world. It's such a big, beautiful marble we sit on. It is such a waste not to go out and see the beauty that this beautiful planet is that God created. Go out and see everything out there. It's a wonderful, wonderful place to explore. What about you, Lisa? Have you traveled at all? Have you seen the world? Oh, nice. Where are you going? Scotland, London, Paris. Oh, beautiful, beautiful cities to go visit. So my wife, funny enough, my wife is going overseas in January to spend time with her best friend from Bulgaria. So what they do every year now is they meet in the middle and they go to a new city. So this year she's going to Florence, Italy. So they're going to be there for a week. I have not been to Scotland. I've been in England for like a day, and I have been in Paris for a day, right, when I was doing transit flights. I would like to spend more time in France and in England. I'd like to go visit a lot of other places too because it's so so beautiful. Scotland, I hear, is phenomenal. Get time, go explore as much as you can. It is worthwhile. It's a hell of a time. See just the absolute beauty that you can see out there. You can't beat it. You just can't. In all honesty, I will always recommend if you ever go anywhere. Greece is gorgeous, but Bulgaria, I got a soft spot for Bulgaria. I know my wife's Bulgarian, obviously, but if you go there, you're gonna find so much beauty. You'll find some of the oldest monasteries in Eastern Europe. You'll also find Roman architecture that's still surviving there. Uh, it's and the Bulgaria is known as the land of roses. It is the natural home place of roses. Um, and when you go there, right, you'll find roses like the size of your hand, right? They're beautiful and they have this just very potent, sweet smell. You cannot. Honest to God, if you get time, go to Bulgaria at least once in your life. Nice. There's a lot of places I want to go see, and God willing, I'll get the chance to do it if I don't work myself into an early grave. I'm just hoping and praying. like to do it one year is do what I did when I was a kid when my dad used to work for DuPont. Remember, he would take all his vacation, um, usually around summertime. He'd take all his vacation time in one go, and we'd do a road trip. And we did it for a couple of years, and we did this long road trip where we went across the United States. We drove from where we lived on the East Coast, and we hit like Pennsylvania, New York, Ohio, Illinois, Wisconsin, North Dakota, Montana, Wyoming, Washington, California, Nevada, Arizona, Texas, Oklahoma, Tennessee. Like we went everywhere, and it was fucking great. Oh, he's from Italy. Nice. Oh, so his family's from Italy. Nice. That's I'd love to go to Italy. I'm a history guy by trade. I don't do anything in history now. I study history. What a waste of a college degree because I do nothing related to my field of study. But I love to adore history, and Rome is always kind of that one thing I'm so interested in, just because it's just the marvels that Rome was able to make and create. Ooh, Niagara Falls is beautiful. We did a trip up there. We went to Canada, went and got to see Niagara Falls. It's gorgeous. Definitely worth to see. I would say though, it's better to visit I think in the spring or summertime because in the wintertime, or in early spring or the wintertime, you're not going to see much because most of it's still iced up. So if you ever get the time to go, I would go in the late spring or summertime to go see the falls because that's when it's most beautiful. Oh man, I am halfway home. Almost halfway home. Make a good time. It's what I love at this time of night. Like there's no traffic, and I can just book it. Do like 70 miles an hour, and there's not a soul on the road. I'm girl. It's my girl. Oh my God, Lisa, I want to tell you very much. Thank you for sitting here and chatting with me right now. You are actually helping me stay awake, which is what I really need for this drive home. It's born and raised in Southern California, traveled every year across the state, Arkansas, to visit my granny and 70. Ah, nice. How do you like living in California? I mean, I know the weather's beautiful out there, and there's some. I mean, I know there's some beautiful, beautiful areas out in California. How do you like living out there? For shame, someday to see more problems for me to fix later. God Almighty, I swear. More problems for me to fix later. God Almighty, I swear. People, weather is perfect, but money. Watching. Yeah. I haven't been to California in probably like since 2010. I think. Was there to God 2010. So 2010. Yeah, it was 2010. I went there. I was there for like 3 days, and I was staying in LA in Little Saigon. My buddy was Vietnamese. His family was all Vietnamese. They lived out there. I mean, I thought it was beautiful, but the cost of everything was astronomical then. I can't imagine what it is now. To watch the Rose Parade, 20 minutes away. Oh, no, I don't, but I have heard of it. Yeah, that's the thing. Where I'm from, it's pretty boring. Very, very boring. My state is more of a retirement state, so I mean, it's peaceful, it's calm, but it's very, very boring. Do 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 do. I would not want to pay the property taxes you guys pay out there because I'm sure it's astronomically high. I think like part of my family lives in New Jersey, so they talk to me about how much they pay in property tax, and I know New Jersey isn't as bad as California is, but I know my aunt and uncle pay like somewhere like $12,000 to $13,000 a year in property tax, which is nuts to me. Nuts. I'm gonna have to call and figure out what the hell happened up there. Oh, that's not bad. It's better than most. So it's not as bad. I guess your property taxes aren't as bad as New Jersey. They're about as bad as I think Pennsylvania. Now my property tax, when I first moved into my house, I paid $453 a year in property tax. Now my property tax, ever since I moved, ever since I bought my house, it's up to about like $1,400 for the year. So it's definitely better than dealing with high taxes, but it's going up because of the increase of people. I mean, if you own that home for a long time, then your property tax, yeah. Although that's the sad part in my mind, I think about that is you buy a house, you own it, you paid off, you own it, but you don't really own it because you're still paying property taxes. Oh Lord. Oh, that's what I'm looking to do. I'm looking at in the next 10 years, I have my house paid off, and I don't have to worry about that anymore. Oh, cool. So you live on a farm? Nice. So did you grow up with like cattle and horses and stuff? Grew up with two horses most of my life. My parents, we had my dad and my mom bought a house with about like 3 acres. My mom loved horses. My dad had two horses for most of their life before she passed away. Oh no, no farm. Oh, okay, okay, gotcha. Only homes now. Okay. Do, 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 do. Oh man, times are changing. You know, when I grew up, there was a lot of farm. There's a lot of farmland where I'm still at. But when I grew up, there was nothing but usually just mainly farms. Um, but now, with all the people moving to my state for retirement purposes, um, it is wild to think about because a lot of the farmers have sold their land in order to build homes because they just can't afford to keep paying on the large swaths of land. And it's unfortunate because we get a lot of people that come here and they don't understand like the nature around them, and they just build their mega homes and they buy them in cash because they're retiring from like New Jersey and New York, coming down here, um, and then they're like, we want to protect the environment. Well, you're building a 4,500 square foot home, um, and it's not very energy efficient. Okay. Going home, took over. Yep. Wow. I hope for young people, the young kids coming up, and for my son, that they appreciate what's around them, the outdoors. I mean, my son is just absolutely wants to play Roblox, video games all the time, and I've got to like get him off that and like go outside, play, go do stuff like I used to do. Get out there. But I feel like kids don't really don't pay attention to the beauty that's around. I really hope that they don't get so swarmed up with AI and games and stuff that they miss out on the real world. Yep. It's always funny because I'll see those people they'll buy they'll move in, and I remember when I bought my house, and my house was built in 1951. The guy who built my house also built every house on the street that I live on, right? And I live in a little small town. Um, So when I bought my house, I'd done all the remodeling work in my home. And I remember a couple years ago, I was putting in basically a walking path to my front door and from my driveway. So my walking path went from the street to the front door, and then I had another winding walk path that went from my driveway to the walk path to the front door. Right now, I didn't put any permanent base on there. It basically was crushed marble, stepping stones, and edger stones. So where I live, you don't need a permit for that, right? But all the people that moved in from like New York and New Jersey, who were used to having to get a permit to just do the most basic work in their house, I remember sitting there putting stones in. Now these two ladies come walking by as I'm laying stones, and they go, they're looking at my house. I'm like, do you have a permit? No, no, I don't. Don't you need a permit for this? No, no, I don't need a permit for it. Are you sure? Because we're pretty sure you have to have a permit. No, I've grown up here my whole life, and I've been up to date on the current laws for permitting. I can tell you right now, I don't need a permit. This is not a permanent, not a permanent structure or a semi-permanent structure, so I don't need a permit for it. It's like, are you sure? And I was like, can I ask you, did you just recently move down to the house down there? Yes. So you're from New York, correct? Yes. Okay, I figured that. Well, down here we don't need permits for everything. Usually we can just go ahead and fix things, and we're okay. Uh, so it's not like New York. So continue on. You have a wonderful day, but it'll be okay. You'll be fine. That's the mentality. People come down, they're like, I think you need this. No, I can do this. It's fine. You're okay. And around my neighborhood, like I live in a small town, right? I live in a small town that's close to the beach. I'll put it that way. Um, there have been so many developments put around the town that our little grocery store that we have, the one and only grocery store we have, and the one and only gas station we have, is so swamped now that used to be when I first moved to the town, it was maybe 5-10 minutes tops to go into the grocery store, get what I need, and get out. Now it's like a solid hour to do the same shopping. It's ridiculous. And it's funny because I see a lot of the retirees that come into the area, and it's hilarious to me because they'll buy these super homes, and then they'll buy these sport sport cars or these $150,000 trucks. I guess they couldn't buy when they were working, and now they're retired. They're just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get this. I'm like, the amount of people, I'm telling you, Lisa, that are in their 80s there that are driving around brand new Corvettes or Porsches, right? And I'm not talking about like your standard like Porsche, like SUV. I'm talking about like top end, like sports car Porsche. And I'm like, that is definitely what you wanted your entire life. And now that you don't have to do anything, you went and spent that money on it. I mean, go for it by all means. But some of those people, you've probably seen it, where they're like crunched up to the wheel like this, and they're probably pushing 90 years old, but they're driving, an $120,000 Corvette. You're like, good lord. Lord mercy. Times are changing. I can only hope they keep. I can only hope they change for the better, not for the worse. Oh, end of life crisis. All right, Lisa. I'm gonna call it a night. I'm gonna call a couple colleagues. They just send me a bunch of messages about things going on right now. I want to say thank you so much for staying here and chatting me up. I enjoyed the conversation. It's a very good conversation. I hope you have a wonderful birthday with your husband and with your family. I wish you many blessings of health and happiness. And I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful rest of your week. Good night. Peace out. And keep gaming.